Chapter 4. Now, June, 1962. Seems like I've always been an enterprising spirit. A fascination for magic, entertainment, creativity in any form always seemed to be peeking around the corners of my consciousness. Inspiration, signposts, filaments of light rays almost visible and pretty much almost present are my guides on my journey. Now, paying close attention and actually taking their direction wasn't always my strong suit. And I have painfully learned over the years to eventually surrender to those loving intuitions and guides, since when I choose my own will, freely I might add, well, life always managed to deal me a blow, one way or another, and usually in the form of bodily pain. Took me quite a few decades to learn that one. In the long run, it's much easier and a lot more spiritually profitable to surrender than to fight the intuitions. However, in 1962 and those times, my magical world of diving into every and any fantasy that crossed my path seemed like just the natural thing to do. Always brought such excitement and learning, such expansion into the being I eventually became, whether good or bad. The alchemy of magic, a world where I could manifest the outcomes and choose, well, sometimes. I probably pushed things too far on many occasions, and then life would slap me across the bottom. Life or my mother. As was the case one fine day when it occurred to me the time had come to reclaim my sovereignty. Daddy had a stack of girly magazines upstairs in our barn. Now, it wasn't really a barn. It was a shop, but we always referred to it as the barn. How I loved sitting up here and finding treasure after treasure in this musty old wooden castle. The sun's rays are filtering through a really cloudy, dirty window just above the wooden slanted stairs leading up to this alcove. I see a box sitting over there in the corner. Being the inquisitive sort I am, I make my way to this trove. Wow! A box of magazines. And they have some naked women and photos inside the almost cartoon front cover. An idea begins to take form in my very fertile mind. I bet I can make some money with this. Let's see. Okay. Oh, over there. An empty box. And it has flaps, so it can be closed. As I pick it up, though it fills my small arms, it's not heavy. What about if I cut out a page from one of these magazines and put it in the bottom of the box? I can close the top and voila! I have an entertainment center where I bet a lot of kids would pay to get a peep. After all, naked women are not something a little kid ever gets to see. I bet it would be a real pathway to my growing empire, as of now, just beginning to be a seed. Luckily, my business eventually got derailed before it launched into the global success I saw it had the potential to be. I started my marketing campaign with a few of the little boys in the neighborhood who were only too willing and pleased to give me a penny for the peep. What I hadn't counted on was that the marketing campaign they then undertook, I'd like to think on my behalf, but probably more their own initiatives, to let their mums know about the Penny-a-Peep business that was getting its feet off the ground. Our phones started to ring off the hook as angry, red-faced mums proceeded to enlighten my poor, uninformed mum on the nefarious activities and adventures of her future porn executive business tycoon. That's where the spanking came in. And that is also where I decided it would be certainly time to claim my dignity and right not to be spanked. In retrospect, I happened to pick the wrong battle to initiate this new aspect of developing my personality. She turned me over her knee, pants rolled down, a further, and in my opinion, unnecessary indignity. I call it authority overreach. And as she finished, I probably maintained my haughty attitude, saying, well, now that that's over. To which she commanded, get back here. And I was then subjected to the second spanking. Those were the only spankings I've ever had. Many years later, when I found myself screaming with a shattered, broken nose, blood spurting everywhere, it shocked me to the depths of my core. But that would come later on in my journey. This was the first business enterprise. And in my 10 years of living, and for now, I had no choice but to continue on, dismantle my newly found porn industry and trust the journey. Thank you.